Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to this new short video. In this one, what I'm trying to achieve is, let's say, trying to replicate the shrink wrapping function that I'm aware it's in Cinema 4D, and I'm sure it's in common to potentially all 3D application. It's basically a function that allows you to deform a geometry based on another geometry. Like in this case, I have this sphere that I'm selecting, and we don't see it in the viewer because it's turned off. And so if I want to shrink wrap my card onto the sphere, what is going to happen is that my card is going to basically deform in order to match the topology of the geometry itself. So it's gonna pretty much bend around the sphere, or in this case it's a sphere, but it could be whatever other geometry. We don't have it natively in Nuke, and I'm not saying that I found a way to replicate it entirely, also because probably it's not very useful anyway. We have other way of deforming geometry, like we can, if we are working with a card, we can enter the form tab, and here you have a way of applying deformation basically to your card, or you can use a trilinear node. Okay, that's basically allowing you, once you plug it, it's basically allowing you to distort. You need to click on reset shape to input, and you can now basically deform and distort your geometry through this node. But I don't know, I was thinking, let's see if we can do something just to play around with this concept. Oh no, I was not using the trilinear, I was using the, let me reapply my trilinear here, just for good measure. Yeah, okay, so you see we are basically applying another level of distortion. But again, it's tricky to match a rounded shape. You can basically bend the corner of your card, and yeah, you can apply some deformation, but it's tricky when you need to pretty much make that shape to adhere to another one, right? So I was wondering if there is anything that can get us close to that result, and I was playing around with some node, and so the idea here is that we have our sphere, and I want to basically distort my card so that it wraps around the sphere, and I can use the pPass, or the position data that are basically exported by our scanline render. So if I have a shuffle node here that is basically grabbing the position pass and shuffling it into RGB. So in this area here, I have my camera that is framing our sphere, and I have set inside my scanline render that I also want to have my surface point as an output, and I'm gonna use this to basically distort, or in this case to displace my geo, my card, and so let me clear here. So I connected this displacegeo to the card, and inside the displacegeo, I'm basically using my, like originally it's something like that. So I'm exporting my position pass, and I'm using this as a displace map to displace the geometry. And the source, like I guess that by default is luminance, that you can set it to RGB absolute, and since the code value in the position pass are actually 3D coordinates, we are basically saying use these 3D coordinates to displace our geometry, and all of this just to get to this very bad result. Let me maybe increase a little bit more the resolution just to have something more interesting. So yeah, I mean, if we check our sphere, we see that now our card is basically wrapped around the sphere. And the interesting part is that, like, again, it's probably not useful at all, but it's fun, at least for me. I'm, a pretty boring person, and I enjoy a little thing like this. So you can basically dissolve two different position paths. So in this case, I have another skyline render that is plugged, that is exporting the same pPass, but in this case of the card, and then I'm dissolving in between the two, with this dissolve node, and you can get like some fun shape, I would say. Let me turn off the sphere once again. You can blend between, this is pretty much the original card, and then it's warping into the wrapped version, right? And you can change the object. So in this case, it's a sphere. I can, I don't know, plug a cylinder, and now I have a cylinder. Now let me turn this off so we can see the result. So now our card is there, and we can still dissolve in between the two. Again, not sure if it's really useful, but yeah, I mean, it's a way of getting also some interesting shape. I was trying once to, let me try to do this. Let's create a cylinder here. I want this to be, the height is fine, but the radius, I want this to be slightly, just for clarity. Okay, something like that. And then I want this to rotate like 90 degree. Okay. And then I want to, well, maybe to have some texture on top, just so we can see it better. And I want to basically displace this. So now you see we are getting, like in this case, an in between the main cylinder and this one. Okay, so we're basically dissolving the two position paths, and so we're displacing using this, right? And again, yeah, maybe not useful at all, but I find it interesting that you can get some cool, weird shape. And then, of course, you have access to all the property of your initial geometry, so you can push it and move it and rotate. You can scale it, and obviously this is going to change the position pass, and so also the wrap effect that we have around it. And yeah, again, just a quick thing. If you find it useful, play around, and maybe you're gonna get some more useful practical result. I mean, the thing that was useful for me was when we were when I was working on a project, and I needed to, my card needed to be more like a semi-sphere, and you might ask, why not using a sphere directly instead of distorting a card? I don't know. I don't remember, honestly. But I was wondering, is there a way that I can bend the geometry around another? And so, yeah, that's what I found. But again, I'm interested actually to know if you can work on this and on top of this, and maybe make something more interesting, and then share it back with me. All right, thank you for your time. Wishing you a happy Sunday. Here it's still Sunday, at least. And speak to you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, sorry, I forgot another quick thing that you can do with the displacer, or the displacegeo actually. So with the texture, in this case a checkerboard, and on this side we have like a roto that is basically revealing, let me clear everything, a roto that is revealing, there you go, the texture, right? And we can feed that into our displacegeo and have, this type of motion graphic-y effect where we're basically just displacing one portion of our texture and leaving the rest untouched. Again, nothing fancy, but it's cool to me at least. All right, thank you once again, and speak soon. And this time for real. Bye-bye.